I want to pivot to the other news of the day. Tim Cook is going to be testifying today in this case with Epic. You obviously have a lot of apps on the App Store.
Oh, we do.
Is Apple
overcharged disgustingly?
Say that again?
Overcharged in a disgusting manner. I mean, you know, if you go through, let's call it the equivalent of an App Store credit card, the transmission cost is about 2%. That's what credit card companies cost for putting up that whole system and doing all that stuff. That's what they charge to the person,
so
you know, to the producer, let's say. Here, Apple says, oh no, 30%. 30%. I mean, I mean, the idea that they actually justify it by saying, oh, well, we spend all this money protecting our little App Store. I mean, it's criminal. Well, it's not criminal.
Let me ask you this, though.
It will be criminal.
I want to get there, potentially, but what do you make of the argument that they built it? If you had built the iPhone and the App Store and developed all this and said, look.
I build a highway, and I charge you $100 to pass it. I built it. Why can't I? Look, the only way you can get from here to there is over my bridge. You can't get there any other way. And by the way, that really is the truth. They have a quasi-monopoly, which they share to some degree with Google.
But is the issue for you price? Meaning if it was 15%, if it was 10%? If it was at 15%, we'd be having a debate about whether it should be 10%. If we were at 10%, we'd have a debate of whether it should be 5%. No?
No. I think, first of all, if you had it anywhere, it's irrational 30%. I mean, it makes no sense to pay. Look, I make something, I offer it to you.
Right.
These people basically, in the middle, provide a service, but that service has an analogy. The analogy really is credit cards. Or you could even say, you can't. That's the analogy.
You don't think it's a store?
Of course it's not a store. If you said to me that like a, you know, by the way, supermarkets, let's do that. What do you think their margins are?
Infinitesimal, unfortunately.
Well, somehow they make out okay. You know, they have a profit. The idea, though, that you would actually be able to get tribute of littlematch.com pays $500 million a year to Apple to go through their store. Does that seem rational to you?
So, has the Department of Justice called you yet?
Yeah, sure they have.
And have you...
I mean, me personally, hello, Justice Department, no.
But you've made this case to them?
Sure, we've made the case to...
Do you think they'll bring a case?
We've made the case to everybody. I would hope... Look, I've believed that when you get to sufficient size, regulation is good. I grew up in the television business, which was regulated completely by the FCC, and really tight regulations. Everybody, by the way, prospered, to say the least. But you really knew that you had to program in the broad public interest or they'd take your license away.
Right.
I think regulation, proper regulation, makes sense. I don't want to bust them up. You know, I don't think that's such a smart idea. But what I would certainly do, when you have size and power, you've got to have regulation.
So, but then what do you do? So, okay, if you'd regulate Apple, I know you'd regulate Google.
Yeah.
Would you regulate Amazon?
I don't know, because I can't. Look, please, you're talking to a dope here. If you think about, again, markets, I don't know about. I believe Amazon is a very small part, actually, of consumer spending in the things that you buy through Amazon. So I don't know enough to make that case. But by the way, regulation, anybody who reaches size has got, because the natural impulse, there is no monopolist who's a kind monopolist.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.